Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Profitable Salon Owners Monthly Webinar for Vagaro Salon Systems. Catherine and I are here today to share the secrets of the business world. And of course, our motto is get salon owners profitable fast, very fast. Because let's face it, in this industry, what we have found is that only 5% of salons are profitable. And we think that's abhorrent because it is an amazing business to work in. And you have the power to grow a profitable and amazing business that will sustain you for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
So we want to help you do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get going. There we are, the two blondes in our favorite position, holding glasses of Prosecco. But that's not all we do. Trust me, we are hard workers.
Well, we deserve a reward once in a while.
Once in a while, yeah. And we don't drink at lunch.
This is true.
It's usually later in the day.
Yeah, 4 o'clock.
So our topic this month is your business in 2017. Are you a driver or a passenger in your business? And I think this is a huge topic because so many of us get so caught up in working in our business that we forget in order to be in the driver's seat in our business, we need to devote time to working on our business.
And, and I think the bus is such a great analogy because when you own a business and you're the driver, you're sitting behind that driver's seat, you have to think about all the people that are on that bus and all the other things that are in the bus that make the bus, all the wheels go round and round. But the people, your clients, your staff, all these things, and you are the driver. How are you going to take care of them? How frequently will you get your bus washed? I think it's an amazing analogy to use the bus as an opportunity to drive your business.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think there's a big difference when you look at it between working in your business and working on your business. And it's something that I have found over the years that a lot of business owners really get caught up in working in their business and forget about all the things that do drive the business forward. And then they wonder why they flatlined.
Well, and of course, we run into this a lot, Catherine, where the owner of a salon or spa is working as a service provider, and often the most substantial service provider, bringing in the most income. And so when we ask them to say, well, what are you doing to work on your business? The answer is often, well, I don't have time.
Yeah.
I'm too busy making money to keep the business alive. But here's what we found is if you are not driving it, if you're not working on your business, you plateau. You don't go anywhere.
You're really on a hamster wheel and you're just running around in circles 24/7.
You've just given yourself a job.
Yeah, you just bought yourself an expensive job.
Yeah.
So moving right along. So what we're going to do today is we're going to give you some rules for becoming the driver.
Just like a driver's license, you have to have a test.
Yeah.
And there's a book to study.
Yeah, here it is. It's 2017. We have a blank slate in front of us. So this is the time to really take some time, step back and decide how much time every week, every month that you're going to work on your business. So this is the time to do it because we are at the very beginning of a brand new blank. The pages are blank.
It's a blank canvas. But actually, Kat, before we move on to the next slide, I think that it might be a great idea to give just share with us really quickly how you moved away from just working in your business to working on, because I know that was a huge leap for you when you did that many years ago.
Yes, it was a big leap for me. Again, I was the big money earner in the salon, and I went to seek out some help and found a consultant, and he said to me, you need to get out from working behind your chair and and work on your business. I had a lot of staff at that time, and so he gave me a deadline. So he gave me 3 months to pull myself out, and all I was allowed to work behind my chair was 1 day a week. And then it slowly but surely brought itself down to where I had 5 days a week I was working on my business. It was nerve-wracking, and I will tell you that very first day that I sat in the office and I did not have clients scheduled every half hour, 45 minutes, hour, I was completely out of my depth. I didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
So,
talk about anxiety.
So trust me, I have learned this no different than you. I've learned this the hard way.
Right. But without doing that, without taking that step, because you built that business into a multi-million-dollar business.
Yeah.
And that would not have happened if you'd stayed behind that chair.
No, it would not have happened. But, you know, even if you're one person and you're a one-person business, you still need to take time. And I've taught this to hundreds and hundreds of salon owners over the years, is if all you can commit to is taking 4 hours of your time
a week
to work on your business, you will still drive your business forward faster than if you don't take that time.
Exactly.
Because you're too burned out at the end of a 5-day week or a 4-day week when you are working long hours behind your chair.
So what we're going to talk about today, these rules for becoming the driver, are really talking about that. What are you going to do during that either 4 hours or 4 days a week you might take to run your business, depending upon the size? Okay. So the first thing up is.
Alrighty. So what we're going to do, I love to do this. Manifest your best year yet.
I love the whole process of visualization.
Yes.
What will this year look like? What do I want it to become? And of course, you know how passionately that we feel about this is you have to write down your goals. You have to actually take a pen or pencil or type it down and put it in writing. And you are only 2% of people actually do that.
Yeah. And I really believe that we actually need to physically write it.
I like to write it because I find that physical thing of, you know, making the numbers, you know, it reinforces it into your brain. There's something about the synapses connecting between the physicality, the thought process.
Well, it's scientifically proven that it does connect it.
Exactly.
It becomes more, you know, intuitive. You're going to take ownership for that when you actually write it down.
Exactly.
So be part of the 2% of people who actually write down their goals.
And, you know, if only 2% of people, and the other thing is they talk about how the most successful people in the world have written down their goals. And if only 2% of people are actually writing down their goals, what a huge opportunity for the rest of us to narrow the gap.
Yeah. Well, Richard Branson, one of the most successful businessmen in the world, did a blog post last month, and that's what it was about. Writing down your goals, writing things on paper.
Yes. Seriously, try it this year. It will absolutely change your world. It will actually rock your world.
Yeah.
You know, and we're talking about personal goals, business goals, and sales goals. All of them, they're each separate things that you want to do. And you need to sort of separate them and have goals for everything. Now, I also really believe that they've got to be in front of you. You got to see them.
You got to be able to see them. We're visual people in this industry. We really are.
And by the way, Post-it notes are probably one of the best goal-setting tools that you have.
Oh, I know. We'll talk about that in a minute, Eileen. You shall know your numbers. So this, I can't even begin to tell you how important this is. I hammer this home to people all the time. So there's no point starting if you don't have a goal in mind. So I'm going to even take that further. There's probably no point starting if you don't know what you did last year.
Well, I think that really sums it up, because if you don't know where you've been, how the hell do you know where you're going?
Yeah. So you need to know where the history is.
Exactly. What did you do?
Yeah.
How did you get there? What generated that kind of income?
Mm-hmm.
So, because that's our starting point.
Yeah. So you have to know where you're going, because this is what I did last year. So this year, being 2017, if I want to grow my business, I have to know where I was in order to make a smart decision about how much I want to grow my business by. So, and then the other thing we'll show you as we go along is how to break it down to the smallest common denominator.
Exactly.
So I often hear people say, well, I want to grow my business, $100,000 next year. And I go, great. That's a pretty big number.
What are
But
you going to do?
if you start bringing it back to daily goals, and I used to do this even for service providers.
Exactly.
You know,
each individual person.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If you want to grow your business, if you want to make $20,000 more next year, how much do you need to bring in every single day
To get
extra
there.
to make that happen?
Exactly.
So,
and again, you know, if you tie this in with the goal setting and you know exactly what you need to do every day, it resonates in your mind, and it's surprising how much it drives you. It just drives you, doesn't it?
yeah, it certainly does. And employ the KISS principle. Keep it
Well,
simple.
salesman, as opposed to keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah,
it really did start out as a sales term,
tool.
right?
Yeah.
Keep it simple, salesman.
Yeah.
But we always like to say keep it simple,
stupid.
So
employ the KISS principle. Keep it as simple as you possibly
it
can.
doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, sometimes I think the simpler it is, the better it is, because then it becomes doable. Everything is doable.
And use the calendar method. Now, I beat this one to death. I am sorry, I beat this one to death. But we're at the start of a new year. It is the perfect time to employ the calendar method. If you do nothing else from this webinar, if you take one thing from this webinar, and this is the one thing that you take from this webinar, you will grow your business this year.
Exactly. And I think actually we've got a picture of what the calendar method actually looks like, Kath. And
well, I just put a calendar down.
Okay.
So I'm going to explain it. So here we are. We're in January 2017. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about a business that I started 2 years ago. I have a large business that I started 20 years ago. That's in the middle of the country. I live out on the West Coast. I started another business 2 years ago.
Actually, why don't you go to the next slide, and then we can just pop back to this one too, Kath, because I think this is a really powerful tool.
So the first year in business, we did about $145,000. Brand new business. We were starting from scratch, different industry, hair loss as opposed to beauty.
Although hair loss is still beauty.
It is, absolutely. Last year, we did $300,000. Now, we have a small space, so there's space limitations.
Yes. We're talking about less than 1,000 square feet.
Oh, yeah, so like 750 square feet. So this year, we've set our target at $400,000 this year. So what I did to set my goals on the calendar is I divided by 12, which left me with $33,333 per month that we have to do.
That's the revenues you need to bring in per month to get to your 400,000.
Now, every month we have a different number of working days, just given the month. In January, we are working 24 days. So if you divide 24 into 33,333, it gives us $1,388 per day. So what I do is I write the goal on my calendar, and every single day that I hit that goal, I take a highlighter and I mark the calendar, because guess what? We're visual people, and it's an instant visual. I took my business in Winnipeg from $350,000 to over $2 million a year. And this is one of the key principal methods that I use to keep me on track.
And that is the key phrase, keeping you on track. Because when you know where you have to be, you know what you have to do. If you know where you're going tomorrow, you know, like for example, if you're going on a road trip, right? And we're going to head down to, let's go to San Francisco tomorrow.
Lovely. I'd love to.
We have to figure out exactly how we're going to get there, because we have to get on a ferry and we have to determine which route. We've got 2 ferries that we could choose to go on, actually 3. Which one should we take? Where shall we stop? It's going to be an overnight trip where, we need to know where we're going. So this visual helps keep you on track, and you will be amazed at how easy it is to sort of look at all your highlighted days to see what you did. And what happens, Kat?
it grows.
Exactly.
When you're paying attention to something, it grows. What you focus on will grow. I will tell you, I have done this with so many salons through the years, and so is Eileen. And it works every single time. And initially, it may seem a little bit of a stretch, but you get 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 days in the month that you've highlighted, and then the next month you get 6. And I used to go in monthly to see some of my clients, and they would meet me and they'd go, look at the calendar.
Yeah.
Because it's exciting when you actually see progress.
Exactly. And you get to pat yourself on the back.
And the other thing is at the end of the month, if you're way off your target, you can't do anything about it. It's history.
Yep.
But this way, week by week, day by day by day, and week by week by week, you're looking. So if you're halfway through the month and you haven't been hitting your targets, what is it that I can do to
change it?
Yeah.
It does. It drives you. And there's just, again, there's something about the human being and the way our minds work. When you haven't hit that $1,300, all of a sudden you think the next day, I need one more client today. I need one more client today, or I need to sell one more product today to get to my target.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it just makes it easier. Seriously, this is the KISS method. Try it, you guys. It will work.
Yeah. And the other thing in our business, for sure, in the salon and spa industry, I always say that 80% of your money should come from service and 20% should be coming from retail. So that $1,388, if you want, you can split it out to service and retail. That's taking it even smaller to the denomination.
Right. When we talk about, into the smallest denomination, and you could even do it by service provider.
Yeah.
If you've got 2 or 3 service providers, or if you've got 6 service providers, you break it down to the smallest common denominator.
Yeah. And if anybody wants the PDF of this presentation, this will all be in it. So you can kind of
use it as your own template.
Yeah.
We'll let you know at the end of the webinar how to get a hold of Vagaro for a copy of this, okay?
All right, moving right along. Keep going.
Number 3, the third commandment.
Yes, you shall diligently build your database.
You got it. This is, in this day and age, business is different than it was 20, 25 years ago.
Yes, absolutely.
And nowadays, your database is your gold mine.
Yeah. Well, really, if you go to sell your business, your database is really what you're selling. Use fixtures, you get nothing for.
Exactly.
But I know people that have been able to sell their database.
You got it. And one of the things I've always found really interesting is in selling. It used to be that a salon would open up and bring in a bunch of service providers, and it was basically up to the service providers to bring in their own clients, keep their clients happy, and when the stylist left, they often took their clientele with them.
Yeah.
But nowadays, with a database, the list is actually grown by the owner of the business.
Yeah.
It is a different kind of business than it used to be. And when you actually go to sell something, you have this gold mine to sell.
Yeah.
You have a list of people that you can market to.
Absolutely. And on that database, you want to keep as many details about your clients as you can.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yes.
Make sure their information is up to date at least once a year. Make sure that you're asking, or every other time that somebody comes in, is everything the same?
And well, every time I go to the doctor or the dentist, they ask me. They say, "Is your address still the same?"
Yeah.
They work very hard at keeping their database up to date. We need to take a page out of that book and do the same thing.
And really, Vagaro makes this so simple.
Do they ever?
They
client cards, etc.
Yeah, they make it so simple. So I would ask myself, am I utilizing my system to the full extent? And if you're not, I would encourage you to get a hold of Vagaro, because they do classes.
They will teach you everything that you need to know. Extremely helpful staff. Make use of it. This is truly where your dollars are sitting.
Moving right along.
You shall solicit testimonials and online reviews.
And ask. It's the simplest way to get reviews. you know, we always say, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah. And how true is that? And reward clients who take time to leave you a review.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be money.
No, it doesn't have to be money. It can simply be an email saying, thank you so much. We're so happy that you took the time to leave a review. I mean, if you want to send them, you know, thank you very much. Here's $10 towards your next visit. Great. Or $5 towards your next visit. Great. However, a simple thank you. Often.
Exactly. People are really touched that you reach out to them. And all of these are opportunities to connect. I mean, let's face it, in the end, having a database is all about connections. It's all about building a relationship outside of when they are in your salon. Because let's face it, most of your clients are probably only coming, say, 6 to 8 times a year nowadays, right? So how do you stay connected, and how do you keep that business relationship going when they're not in your salon, in your business? So this is all about maintaining a connection and keeping a relationship going. And one of the best ways to do it is through testimonials and online reviews, because when you ask someone to do a testimonial and they actually do it for you, they become part of your team, and they feel like they're part of your team, and they won't go anywhere else.
And I don't know about you, Eileen, but if I'm researching something, I usually will always go to the reviews.
More and more, I find myself doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah. Now, it's interesting because the business that I'm in the hair right now. In this one business is a hair loss business, and it is definitely harder to get people to leave reviews. They are definitely more hesitant. However, I still ask, and we still do get.
For sure. And I know in the hair loss business, people are more reluctant to leave their names in case somebody follows up. So, you know, just use first names or whatever, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, every so often you do get a negative review.
Yes. And a lot of people like to just ignore those. Worst thing you can do for your business. I read the negative reviews, and I always look to see what the owner's response was.
Yes. Because it tells everything. I mean, I think that part of the customer service experience is taking care of problems. I think that it is the measure of a business of how good you are, is if you can take care of the problems. Because if you can solve a problem for a client or a customer, guess what? You've got a client or customer for the rest of your life.
Well said, Eileen.
Hear, hear.
And, you know, we all have, there's Yelp, there's Google, there's Facebook. These are all places that you can solicit testimonials, ask people to go on and review you. The other thing is, you know, one of the things that we have done in our space in Winnipeg is we have put a book together, and we ask people to write in the book, you know, just like a guest book.
Yes.
And leave comments.
Mm-hmm.
And that has been really successful. We've had some lovely, lovely, lovely things written in our book, and we leave it out so people in the waiting area, so people can read it.
And if they put it in the book, then, you know, you can put that on your website.
We take pictures, or we write it down. We never put somebody's full name.
No,
I wouldn't leave people open to that. And I always tell people, you know, don't leave your full name. Just you can leave your first name, and just
for sure.
That's it.
It can be something as simple as Catherine gave me the best shampoo I've ever had today. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
Love, Eileen.
But I will tell you that this is a powerful marketing tool. And,
is it ever?
Yeah, and it really should be. You really should be looking to build it diligently.
Well, you know, one of the things I have to say is, Kath, because you and I are not computer geniuses by any stretch of the imagination, but we do understand that the online world and cyberspace is driving our businesses. I don't know how all the algorithms work for Google or Facebook or any of these things, but I do know that the more we have on the more we're mentioned, the more we have on there, the more we are driven on search engines.
Yeah, the more positive reviews, anything that you can do will help put you up in the rankings, and that's really what we want to do.
Exactly. And actually, speaking of driving up in the rankings, our next slide, Catherine, is all about one of the best tools in the world,
Yeah.
bar none.
Yeah. Reach out using videos. And it is simple. Please understand that you don't need to make a production. A lot of people are afraid to just make a little video with their phone and upload it because it's not, they don't see it as professional. This isn't about being, like a total,
a Hollywood's rock
no,
star.
this is not about that. This is about actually getting information out to the clients. And people like to watch short videos. If it's 5 minutes, forget it.
It's too long.
It's going to be too long. You need to do it between 1.5 minutes and 3 minutes max.
Exactly. And again, now here's the thing that we're talking about. This is about building relationships with your clients outside of the business hours that they are actually in your business.
Yeah.
You want them to become raving fans. And this is one of the most effective ways to do it because it's easy, it's quick, and people have this thing, oh, look, there's a video of Catherine. Oh, look at it. Doesn't she look great? They want to feel like they belong to your club.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's so powerful.
People want to belong to something.
Yes,
and
exactly.
That's pretty huge. And I mean, in our industry, there's so many different things that we can do instantly. We can do Facebook Live, to show a new style update, a client transformation, video testimonials. You can ask if somebody wants to do a testimonial and they're comfortable doing it on video it.
Take advantage. Do selfies with your clients.
Yeah,
right?
Staff bios, and then special promotions.
Right, and and I love the staff bios too because again, it's an opportunity connection, right? And they can be just short little things. They can be so and so just finished her master colorist or whatever. Yeah. Like really important things that are specific to your business. It's amazing how powerful it is. Special promotion. By the way, everybody, not Thanksgiving, Valentine's is coming up. Both long words. Neither begin with the same letter. But Valentine's is coming up. Why not put together, like a cute little video right now, start to talk about your Valentine's promotion. Yeah. Be on it.
Yeah. It just, like I said, a minute, this is what we have on promotion this month. And don't worry about fluffing things if you're not totally 100% on. If you stumble over words, who cares? It makes you look real.
Right. Did anybody notice that I fluffed on Thanksgiving and Valentine? You don't care, do you? No. Because again, it creates a bit of humanity. It makes you realize that these people aren't perfect. Mm-hmm. These are human beings, and they're reaching out to me.
And I have a couple of good friends who are big techies, and this is everything that they are doing. Is everything they're promoting is video. Video. And one of them actually has she has a program, and it's called Purse Power.
Yeah.
And Purse Power is alive and well, or Pocket Power.
Pocket Power.
If you're a guy, maybe pocket, maybe not purse. But
I'm not touching that one.
Purse Power is alive and well, and utilize your smartphone. So capture a little video, upload it to YouTube, and link to Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and your website.
Exactly.
Really simple. So let's moving right along. And talking about our website.
OMG. This is one of the biggest things around right now. You must have a mobile-friendly website.
If you don't, you are being left behind.
Oh my gosh, Kath, isn't it awful? I think, what was it, 2 years ago they moved to the mobile websites?
Yeah.
And the number of people we know who still don't have a mobile friendly website. And unfortunately, what happens, of course, is you're a client, you're looking for a salon to go and get your hair done. So you put your search in your Google engine or whatever engine you're using, and guess what the first websites that come up are?
The mobile friendly.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. So say you've got one of the old ones that doesn't fit the mobile friendly. Your client ends up pinching and searching, and it becomes very difficult.
It's too confusing.
It's too confusing, and they move on.
Mm-hmm. And something really interesting is in the month of January, in my small business that I have here, we were brand new, so we decided to do a bus ad. So we have an ad on one of the buses. But what I do is, because when people are driving by you on the bus, there's only so much information that they can take. And my link is hairlossvictoria.ca. Pretty simple. Hairlossvictoria.ca is my mobile friendly website that I drive everybody to. In the last week alone, we have had five people reach out and contact us through the mobile website. I have 2 right now waiting to be answered today that came in on the weekend.
Isn't that powerful? I mean, that is amazing. And the same thing will happen for you.
But it has to be mobile friendly.
It does. It's just, the difference is huge.
And your phone number in your mobile friendly website should be a call to click link.
Well, I've got to tell you, Catherine, one of my pet peeves is, because I look at a lot of websites for salons and spas, and one of the things I notice is that the actual location or phone number or the contact is not immediately visible.
I know you have to search for it.
You have to search for it. Well, okay, I really like what you've got to say here, but now how do I find you?
Yeah.
Oh, I get so irritated because I immediately want to phone them up and say, excuse me.
Yeah, you just make it difficult for people.
Exactly. So, make it easy for someone to find you.
So make sure, one thing I want to tell you is make sure that your phone number at least is front and center on your website in big, bold letters. So it makes it easier for people to look for you.
You got it.
So now they've done that rant, because that's your favorite.
That's one of mine, right?
It's one of your peeves. Okay. So you must learn to use social media effectively. And we are going to put a qualifier on this. I think we all should know what social media is and how effective it can be.
But we don't necessarily have to be the ones who are doing it.
So we'll share a couple of things with you. We'll just talk a little bit about, like Facebook is a relationship builder.
Just what we were talking about. Yeah. How do you build a relationship outside of the business hours?
And I think, don't just post things. Don't just say, this is on sale this week, or post things that are funny, engaging, educational, something that's comment worthy, but please do not do anything to do with politics, religion or sex. I think those 3 should be left for your personal page.
Yeah.
Personally.
Always keep in the back of your mind that we are building relationships. And if you're just posting about your business, about your promotions or whatever, or costs or pricing or whatever, that's not building a relationship. No. So things that you might want to post on are, as Catherine said, do something humorous, right? Do some great style pictures, right? Make some announcements about your staff. Or
do you know what gets some of the biggest hits on my page are when I put recipes up. I will see a recipe and I think, whoa, that is really great. I might try it and I might say, this is a really great, simple recipe. The hits I get on those things are huge. A lot of times, when I've been out or been to a professional event and I post pictures, we get a lot of traction on those too. So
absolutely. Those are the things that, because people look at them and they start to relate to you. They think, oh, like I often get great recipes from Catherine's site, right? Because here's the thing is, again, we're going back to the club that they belong to. And we're talking about always having somebody that we can market to. That's the whole concept, is we are marketing to these people. And we cannot forget that this is a business tool that used effectively will drive your business.
And when
Speaking of driving your business,
learn to use Facebook, not ads, not just boosting posts. And I will tell you, last year in my large business, we decided to put more money into Facebook ads and less money into print media. And we just came off one of the best years that we've had in a long time.
And when you can actually link it back to the type of advertising you're doing, that's an incredibly strong factor.
Yeah. And it really is. I mean, it really is one of the biggest changes that we made. And, you know, it was nothing to do with me. And one of my co-owners there decided that she would learn Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. And she really made it a focus this past year, and she has done a phenomenal job. In saying that, for the business here, I am not, I do all the marketing for the business, but I do feel that my money would be better spent. So this year, my marketing dollars, I'm taking them away from the bus ad, and I'm going to put them into social media, but I'm hiring somebody to do it for me.
And therein lies the crux, because we can't be good at all things. We are going to be great at some things. We'll be good at other things. And there's some things that we suck at. And we have to accept that. But that doesn't mean that you can't do them. Now, I do find that social media is such a huge tool. But for me, it's one of these cyberspace and online things that I don't have the time to learn or focus on. And how incredible that you ended up having a co-owner who was interested in taking on that challenge and doing it themselves. But not everybody in your business can do it. It's that one person. Right. And if you don't have that one person, hire someone to do it for you. You'll be surprised. It's fair. You can do it at a fairly reasonable price, having someone do it. And don't even necessarily rely on one of your staff members, because it is a big responsibility to drive the business, unless you're going to pay them to do it.
And, you know, think about it. If you put $300 into, let's say, hiring somebody to do some social media for you, if you get $900 back from that, you're way ahead of the game.
Absolutely. So
it's return on investment.
Exactly. So you have to take a look at it as one of the most important marketing tools that you can do.
And really, it doesn't matter whether you're one person or whether have multiple people in your business. All these things still apply, because as one person, you want to grow your business. And when you get to 85% booked as one person, then your prices go up. So guess what? You're going to lose a few people. So you're going to need to advertise to get some more in.
Exactly.
So it's always ongoing. So that's where I'm at.
And one last note, always upload your videos directly from YouTube to Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, LinkedIn, to all of the social media sites you're involved in.
And this, to me, is where a good social media person is invaluable.
Here, here.
Because they can do all that. I get lost in the fray.
No kidding. I will automatically, they'll start asking me for a password and I freak out.
Yeah. So we can't be good at everything. So find somebody that knows what they're doing. And I mean, even
delegate.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if you find somebody that is really good, you can also offer to trade services.
For sure.
So now they may be, not spending, if it's $300, they may not spend $300 in hair every month or skin, but you can at least maybe offset some of it, because trading services works really well.
Yeah, because, like, for example, say you're trading out on product, with our markup so say you exchange $100, right? That product actually only cost you $50. So you are getting huge value for your dollars then.
So what we're saying is think outside the box.
Yes.
There are always ways to find ways to do this more effectively. All right, moving right along. Surveys. Use surveys. Different than reviews.
Yes. Different from testimonials.
Yeah. So what we're doing, when we're asking people, how are we doing in our business? Like, what would you like to see differently? Those are actual pointed questions to help grow the business in a forward direction.
Because when you ask somebody, if you ask them specific questions that you want, and you can change up your surveys on a regular basis, right? But say you want to find out how your coffee is. Coffee is a really funny thing, because clients love a good cup of coffee. And, some clients will come and say, oh, your coffee sucks. Some will say, or, I know it sounds simple, but it's just an example. You want to ask a really pointed question on what could we do to improve our coffee service here at the salon?
Yeah.
Do we need to change our cups? Do we need to change the dispensers for cream and sugar? I know it, I'm just using a small thing, but I want you to understand that this will help you nail down what needs to change within your business to make it better.
But it's the small things that can be the straw that break the camel's back.
Haha.
That makes a huge difference. We need to pay attention to the details. And just because we go into our business every day, we tend not to see things. I just did this in my own business. I was in between Christmas and New Year's, we were closed, and I went in one day and I thought, there are some things that we are missing here. Like the bottles at the back bar where we do treatments, they weren't as clean as they could be. The shelf that clients can see underneath it's an open cupboard, maybe not as tidy and clean as it could be. Looking at the retail shelves, think that needs to be changed.
Or what about when they're lying in the shampoo bowl and they're looking up? What are they seeing? Is the light fixture dusted? All of these things, they may be small, but they can add up. And in asking our clients for their feedback, they have fresh eyes. They will see things that we might be missing.
Yeah. Now, the one thing that we do have, and we've sent it out to people before, is we have a walkthrough checklist. So you can take it and you can go outside your business, and then it walks you through a whole list, 2 pages of questions.
Yep.
And you check things out. It just gives you a fresh perspective.
It does, because all of a sudden you think, because we get so used to our business,
our space.
When you move into a new home or something, and when you first move in, you think, I got to get rid of that light fixture. It's so ugly.
Crazy.
It's really ugly. But you think, oh, I'll wait till I get some money, and before you know it, you've grown so accustomed to that light fixture, you totally forget that you hated it when you came in. We become immune to that.
Yeah. And that's what happens. And that's what surveys do. It gets other people to answer honestly about what they like about our business and what they think we could change. And I will tell you, I've done surveys for years and people are pretty honest. And sometimes it's very interesting what they come back with that they would like to see you change.
Yeah. They're weird sometimes, but also fun. Now, SurveyMonkey is free for up to 100 responses.
Yeah.
So it's an easy and free program to use.
And subject lines are important.
Very. Because if it's boring, people won't open it.
I do think often something just, I would love your opinion, because that engages them initially right off the hop.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, I often do not take surveys. I get so many requests to, fill this survey and fill this survey and fill this survey and fill this survey. And I tend not to do that. I think sometimes it's better if you can just hand somebody in our business, hand somebody a survey in a stamped, addressed envelope and ask them to please fill it in anonymously and send it back in. You know what? It doesn't cost us a lot of money, but it will give you feedback. And most people, when they have a stamped addressed envelope, will do that.
Exactly. Because they want to be anonymous. They often don't want to give you your opinion and let you know who they are. So the anonymity protects them.
Yeah. And this one I love. Take time to visit other salons to check out the competition.
When was the last time you did a walkabout?
Yeah, done this for years.
We regularly take salon owners or service providers around to other salons so they can check out what the other competition is doing. Yeah. And here's what happens. You either come back to your salon and thinking, hey, I'm doing a great job. Or you'll come back and you'll recognize that, I really love that they had this going on. I love what they did there. And it starts your creative process going again. And it gives you the opportunity to, again, look at your business in a fresh way.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll very quickly see what you like and what you don't like, because it's not all about, what goes on inside. Just from the outside, how many times, Eileen, have we gone into a salon and just from the outside we've gone, ugh,
Ugh.
like,
Oh, it's horrifying.
This is not
Remember
this
that?
is not lovely.
Remember that one salon in particular? It was so bad. I don't, like even opening up the door, we had to we put our hands in our coat pocket sort of thing to pull the door open. We were afraid to touch the door handle.
Yeah.
It was frightening.
But, look at the outside of your space. Just that's what people see immediately. As soon as they open the door, the energy flows out to meet them.
Yeah.
And before anybody has talked to them or made eye contact with them, that energy has already surrounded them. So make sure that you have good energy flowing.
Exactly. Get out the sage.
Sounds a bit woo, but it is really
it's true. It's true. People pick up vibrations like you wouldn't believe.
They certainly do. All right.
And while you're on that bus.
Yeah. And last but not least, we have to have fun at work. If we are not having fun at work, there is a problem.
You got it. Because if you go home at the end of the day and you're stressed and worried and dreading the next day, what's the point? What is the point?
I know. And I mean, I can speak to that because I've been in this business for over 40 years, as you've been in it for many years, had my own businesses for most of that time. And, it happens to all of us. It happened to me just in the last couple of weeks. And I really had to have a meeting and say, there are some things here that are not working. And it was, not with employees, but with business partners. There are some things here that are not working. I'm not having fun anymore. So we need to change them.
And that's one of the things that you have to do on a regular basis is do that self-assessment. Is this working for me? What is working for me? What's not working for me? What would make it better? How can I change this to make it fun? Because the more you dread going to work, the harder it is to go to work, but also
even
your
if your
attitude changes, your business starts to fail. We've got to have fun.
Yeah, we do. And it's a proven fact that employees who have fun at work are way, way, way more engaged than people that don't.
And guess what? They've done surveys on that.
Yeah.
Surveys, I'm telling you.
And honestly, it doesn't matter if you're in business, you have a large business, or if it's just you by yourself. Every once in a while, give yourself permission to take what I call a mental health day. And
everybody
honestly,
needs it.
On those mental health days, sometimes if I feel that I'm at that point, which I was just in the last week or so, and I had to pull myself back, but I will tell you, I get more clarity on those days than if I stay in it and try and plod through it.
Exactly, because you develop resentments, and that's the last thing you want in your business is to feel resentment. And by the way, Kat, I just want to go back and mention, we were talking about surveys, etc. One of the best ways that, if we're in a larger business, one of the best things we can do is also to survey our employees.
Oh, absolutely.
To find out, what we can do better as employers.
Do that once a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And don't, it's anonymous. It has to be. I will tell you from somebody that does it all the time with a large staff, it has to be anonymous.
Right.
Even though we often know their handwriting, it's all good, but it's anonymous. But it has given us some really great insights. But as an owner or as a service provider, every once in a while, if you are feeling overwhelmed, it's okay. And I really want to say this, give yourself permission. You are the most important thing in this equation.
Exactly, because especially if you're an owner of a business, you are the driver. Remember that bus in the picture. You're the driver. And what happens when the bus driver gets too fatigued?
Crash.
And accidents happen.
Yeah.
And the same thing is true with your business. If you need a break, take one.
Yeah. And I always believe, and Eileen, that was one thing that we do well together, is laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. Eileen loves to sing. And every once in a while, you know, we'll be going along and the next thing is she has burst into song. But it makes me laugh.
It makes her laugh. But what I also found out
It drives me crazy too.
is that occasionally she will join in, and guess what? She has a lovely voice.
So I just want you to think about these principles because you need to be working on your business. Give yourself permission to take 4 hours a week minimum to actually take some time and work at building your business. Work at driving that bus. That's what we all need to do. And most of us don't give ourselves permission to do that.
Exactly. That is the whole thing, is you don't give yourself permission to drive the bus.
Yeah.
You know, and I always think I think it was FDR, Roosevelt, who had a little stand on his desk, and it said, "The buck stops here."
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's such a powerful thing, because really, that's it. The buck stops with you.
And for our last slide, I would like to share this poem with you. It has been on my desk in my office for well over 20 years. And I was a really small business, and I went to seek out the knowledge of a woman who had built a large company. She had this poem sitting on her desk. She photocopied it for me and gave it to me, and I put it in a frame, and it's been on my desk, and it's still in my office here, and it's called The Winner.
It's a great...
And it doesn't matter where you are today. I think this is so powerful in driving you forward.
And when you see this, you know, because when you get a copy of this PDF and you can take a picture of this, do the same thing. Put it in a frame. Put it somewhere where you can see it. Because when you see that the winner, you become the winner.
Yeah. And so it's called The Winner. Think big and your deeds will grow. Think small and you'll fall behind. Success begins with a person's will. It's all in the state of mind. If you dare not, you'll never know. You've got to think high to rise. You've got to be sure of yourself before you can win the prize. Life's battles don't always go to the stronger or the faster man, but sooner or later, the one who wins is the one who thinks, I can. And honestly, if I know that if I can do it, anybody out there listening to this can do it. And I will tell you, the same goes for Eileen, because this woman has built herself up from, is it okay if I say it?
Sure.
From being bankrupt to a 6-figure income. And
on a regular basis.
And she does phenomenally well. So we have been in the trenches. We know what it's like to face adversity, but we honestly believe that if you want something and you are willing to put the work in, you can make it happen.
Well, and I think the real thing is, Catherine, is that you and I both see ourselves as winners. We have never let adversity hold us back. In fact, I look back on, you know, past failures, et cetera, and I am grateful for that experience, because it has helped me move forward and helped me grow as a person, because personal growth comes from pain.
Yeah. And you know, what they're doing in schools now is they are not letting children fail. And I think that is such a bad thing, because your best lessons come from your failures.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm living proof.
So we want you to win big, and we want you to be a winner. And we know if you just take one thing from this webinar today, if that one thing is the calendar, if that one thing is, you know,
if that one thing is the mantra, I can, that is the most important thing that you will do every day. I can.
So let's make 2017 your best year yet.
Absolutely. Let's get on the bus, Gus.
Yep. And drive straight ahead.
You got it.
All right, ladies and gents, we will
wrap up. We're always at info@theprofitablesalonowner.com if you've got any questions. But Vagaro, our incredible sponsor and the most amazing software program for our industry that we think is out there, and we've looked at lots. We are so grateful that they allow us to do this, to be their business resource, and they will keep a copy of this PDF, and you can always send them an email at support@vagaro.com, and they will send it to you. They're wonderful.
We hope you have taken one gold nugget out of this presentation. That makes what we do all worthwhile. So everybody, take care, and we will see you next month.
Take care, all. Bye-bye.